denied. You're denying my claim. I don't understand. I have full coverage.
I'm sorry, Mrs. Hoganson, but our liability is spelled out in paragraph 17. It states clearly.
I pay for this.
Excuse me. Claims, Bob Parr.
Imagine you wake up with blurry vision. Your doctor refers you to a specialist, but your insurance blocks the referral.
You are not a number, but to the United States healthcare system, it might be a different story. The Incredibles, one of the greatest animated movies ever created, originally aired on October 24, 2004. Despite being nearly 2 decades old, it couldn't have been more relevant to today's issues in current media. On December 4, 2024, Brian Thompson, the CEO of the United Healthcare Service, was murdered in cold blood in downtown New York. This shocking event sparked a nationwide manhunt for information about the suspect behind the crime. The search for the perpetrator led to a wide range of public reactions. Surprisingly, a significant portion of the public viewed the perpetrator as a hero, highlighting the hatred that many people feel towards healthcare and insurance industries. So now you're probably wondering, what does this have to do with The Incredibles? Well, let me explain. You see, The Incredibles already opens up with a bunch of legal battle.
In a stunning turn of events, a superhero is being sued for saving someone who apparently didn't want to be saved. The plaintiff, Oliver Sansuit, who was foiled in his attempted suicide by Mr. Incredible, has filed suit against the famed superhero in Superior Court.
Then followed superheroes getting banned entirely in America. Fast forward 15 years later, Bob is working a soulless insurance job.
Excuse me, where were we?
I'm on a fixed income. And if you can't help me, I don't know what I'll do.
And this statement is correct. People with lower incomes and high deductibles are more likely to have cost-related access problems. For example, 44% of people with incomes below $35,000 experience a lot of these problems compared to the 21% of higher income adults. You see, this sweet old lady just got her insurance claim denied. An insurance claim is a request for the insurance company to pay for damages or losses covered by your policy. Did you know that at least 1 in 10 claims are denied? And Bob knows this because he tries his best to help her out.
I'd like to help you, but I can't. I'd like to tell you to take a copy of your policy to Norma Wilcox, Wilcox, on the 3rd. Pretend to be upset.
Then we get introduced to the short and greedy boss, who then scolds Bob for helping his clients out.
You authorized payment on the Walker policy?
Someone broke into their house, Mr. Huff. Their policy clearly covers them against
I don't want to know
any
about their
litigation.
coverage, Bob. Don't tell me about their coverage. Tell me how you're keeping InsurAcare in the black. Tell me how that's possible with you writing checks to every Harry Hardluck and Sally sob story that gives you a phone call.
At the end of the day, corporate America is about money, and the insurance business brings in a lot of it. The insurance industry is making record profits, earning $88 billion in 2023, which is more than double the previous year's profits. This is further proved when Bob makes his second trip to the office.
Sit down, Bob. I'm not happy, Bob. Not happy. Ask me why.
Okay. Why?
Why what? Be specific, Bob.
Why are you unhappy?
Your customers make me unhappy.
What, you've gotten complaints?
Complaints I can handle. What I can't handle is your customers' inexplicable knowledge of InsurAcare's inner workings. They're experts! Experts, Bob! Exploiting every loophole, dodging every obstacle! They're penetrating the bureaucracy!
Penetrating the bureaucracy is such a funny word when you realize what he's actually saying. That this insurance company is putting up all the red tape and making it nearly impossible to win a claim. One detail you probably missed is that when Mr. Incredible was in his study, there was a newspaper. In the paper, there's a corresponding story where insurance carriers exposed about Gilbert Huffs, who was Bob's boss, for always badgering him for not always denying claims for insurance subscribers.
Did I do something illegal?
No.
Are you saying we shouldn't help our customers?
The law requires that I answer no.
We're supposed to help people.
We're supposed to help our people! Starting with our stockholders, Bob! Who's helping them out, huh? You know, Bob...
You ever wonder what the letter on his desk read, since he's clearly using it for an example? He's lying about the company having financial setbacks as an excuse to not process someone's life insurance. The irony in this situation is that insurance care, which is the company's motto, is that your life is in our hands, relating even more to what goes on outside of fiction.
Imagine your father has cancer. His doctor orders an MRI,
No, you cannot order this imaging.
prescribes chemotherapy.
Have you considered this other, less expensive option?
His insurance causes delay after delay.
No, you don't need this surgery.
He dies.
A company
It's like an enormous clock.
is like an enormous Yes, precisely.
Except that people are starting to realize that they don't want to be clogs that make the clock work anymore.
This is the Ivy League graduate and valedictorian who police say is the suspected CEO assassin.
Luigi Nicholas Mangione.
The New York manhunt for the death of the CEO sparked an online revolution, with some people defending the suspect and praising him as a hero. Now, of course, all of this news is currently rolling out and is still alleged. Nothing is set in stone, so what could be the possible motives?
A possible motive for United Healthcare CEO alleged killer Luigi Mangione has been revealed. The owner of a co-living space in Hawaii where Mangione lived for 6 months said the murder suspect revealed to him he was in constant pain over a pinched nerve and misaligned spine. He claimed that the terrible back pain was unbearable to the point where it was not possible for him to have sex with anyone or date. Speculations have swirled that Mangione's chronic back pain was connected to Brian Thompson's murder, given his role overseeing America's largest private insurer. On the bullets found at the scene where Mr. Thompson was brutally gunned down, appeared to have the words deny, depose, and defend written on them, words that echoed the title of a book condemning the healthcare insurance industry's practice of not paying claims.
If what's being said is true about his situation, it highlights the problems of Americans getting screwed over by systems that's supposed to help them, which relates back to The Incredibles even more. Bob is a natural superhero that fights crime with no strings attached, and that's why he has so much trouble ripping off the average American. Fast forward back to his boss speech, he noticed someone getting robbed.
Bob? Look at me when I'm talking to you, Par!
That man out there, he needs help.
Do not change the subject, Bob. We're discussing your
He
attitude.
is getting mugged.
Well, let's hope we don't cover him.
I'll be right back.
Stop right now, or you're fired!
The urge to do good or simply the right thing was just too strong in Bob's mind. The man still ended up getting robbed, even though Mr. Incredible could have prevented this situation, leading into him doing this.
He got away.
Good thing, too. You were this close to losing your...
Some could say this was the straw that broke the camel's back, but what is the current level Americans are willing to take?
It's not just for Luigi, it's what this represents. This is America. They make the poor poorer and the rich richer, and they think that we don't care. That's why we're here. Healthcare is a human right.
I think this case is bringing people together in a way.
I think it is. I also see police and people walking by in business suits laughing at us. We're all here to better the human experience. This is not a controversial statement. It shouldn't be. Some people think it's a mockery, but they don't have to deal with the problems that everyday people have to deal with. So that's why we're here, and we're going to stay here as long as it takes.
Now, of course, this is just a small sample size, but if we actually look at the numbers, it says something different. A CNBC study found that 66% of all personal bankruptcies were tied to medical bills. And if you ever wondered why are they like this, let me break it down for you.
An absurd process has infiltrated American healthcare. It's called prior authorization. Here's how it works. Before your doctor provides a treatment, your insurance requires them to prove it's necessary. This is often a time-consuming process that can cause dangerous delays. Prior authorization was actually created to save you money. Decades ago, it was used sparingly, only to make sure expensive treatments, like long hospital stays, were absolutely necessary. But now, even everyday medications now require insurance approval.
Could be for medications to treat heartburn,
ADHD medication,
test strips for patients to be able to check their blood sugar,
chemotherapy, Prozac.
Medical expenses and bills are variable expenses, meaning that they change from month to month. The reason they're like this is because medicine is a part of a group called inelastic demand. The demand doesn't change much even when the price change. Examples are necessities like water, electricity, or life-saving medicine. Companies will know that you need a certain medicine and that you can't find that anywhere else. They can charge whatever they want. And once again, insurance companies often deny and delay claims due to errors, missing information, or just changing policies which shifts costs to patient. Bob quite literally fights the man metaphorically, but I think the Incredible second main character could represent how some of the public is feeling now.
But I learned an important lesson. You can't count on anyone, especially your heroes.
I was wrong to treat you that way. I'm sorry.
See? Now you respect me, because I'm a threat. That's the way it works.
One big thing Americans are criticizing is that the fact that this took place against a billionaire is why it's being brought to the limelight. And if this was a regular civilian like me and you, would the police be so diligent trying to solve this case? This event took in New York City. In 2022, the New York Police Department cleared 64% of homicides, which is progress, but still means that hundreds of people were murdered without their killer being caught. After Luigi was caught and acquired charges against him, this sparked a new form of outrage because of the charges that was set upon him.
What terrorizes me is the healthcare system.
Not one school shooter has been charged with terrorism.
Punishment just does not fit the crime at all here.
How do you feel about Luigi being hit with terrorism charges?
I don't feel terrorized by the action that was committed because I'm not a billionaire.
Sinjo's hatred was caused by not being accepted by Mr. Incredible for simply not having powers.
And when I'm old and I've had my fun, I'll sell my inventions so that everyone can be superheroes. Everyone can be super. And when everyone's super, no one will be.
Which led Syndrome to make Project Kronos, the plan to wipe all the superheroes out. You see, Kronos is described as time and power in Greek mythology. It represents time and the destructive cycle of power, symbolizing how systems like healthcare and insurance companies destroy lives over time. The bullet used in this attack had the words defend, deny, and destroy edged into them. Another correlation, the Greek god Kronos devoured his children to maintain control. Much like the healthcare system devours people through defending its profits and bureaucracy, denying claims and access to affordable care, and destroying lives through medical bankruptcies and neglect. Going back to Syndrome's ideology, Kronos also symbolized unchecked power and the fear of being overthrown. Syndrome had a fear of exceptionalism, and his plan was to destroy it. This connects with our theme of society prioritizing the super, or in real life, the wealthy, while neglecting the average person. Something funny I noticed with this movie being released in 2004, I found a statistic that shows in 2009, claims processing accounted for around $210 billion in wasted healthcare dollars in the US. A decade later, the bill had climbed to $265 billion, while insurance companies continued to rise denial rate. I will conclude by stating that America definitely has a healthcare crisis, and Americans are starting to express their frustration. While much of what's been discussed in this video is alleged, especially as new evidence continues to emerge, it doesn't change the fact that this event made a powerful statement. I also want to make it clear that I do not condone any violence whatsoever. This is a sensitive topic and I must acknowledge that a life was lost. No matter how you feel about the situation, I send my condolences to the family of the victim. My goal was to draw parallels between a real life event and one of my favorite movies, The Incredibles. I want to thank you for watching the video. Until next time, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and thank you for watching Media Munchies. Peace.